Well, it's time for Media Watch. James Creedon is with us in the studio. Good to see you, James.
Hi, Laura.
You're going to tell us a bit more about this WikiLeaks data dump that's got everybody worried that their smartphones and their computers and their televisions might be spying on them.
That's right. Just live in a cave with no internet connection. That's the only way around this.
Switch off the Wi-Fi.
You are going to be listened into. In any case, it seems like this is a bigger data dump than what we saw with Edward Snowden. It's really quite massive. I suppose we don't know the full extent of what's in it yet because people are still trawling through it.
8,000 pages to get through.
That's right. It takes a little bit of time to get through that. Just one piece of information that seems to be emerging. The CIA does appear to have had a system in place that was a sort of a parallel system to what the NSA has or had. And this tweet says it best, I suppose. Vault 7, that's the name of this particular data dump, reveals the CIA has its own NSA-level hacking division, a parallel NSA with zero government oversight. So it's another case of public privacy infringements. Edward Snowden himself seems to think that this looks authentic. He has been tweeting about it, saying, what makes it look real? Program and office names. Only a cleared insider could know them. And he went on to say that it really does look authentic. Samsung is one of the companies emerging as potentially having participated in, or at least
it has the kind of technology flaws that the CIA is able to exploit.
Now, Wired.com is going into the details because apparently televisions sold in 2012 and 2013 are the most likely to potentially have microphone facilities, cameras that can be activated when you think the television is off. Apparently what you should do if you have a 2012, 2013 Samsung is check the back of the television screen. If there's a blue LED light that is on when the television is ostensibly off, then it's not off. Wow. But what they're now saying is potentially they might have corrected this giveaway blue LED light that's still on, and even if it's in later versions off, we just don't know. That's the real problem here.
It's all very James Bond, isn't it? Checking the back of your television.
And what Wired said is the only way to be 100% sure is to plug it out of the internet, to go back to old-fashioned TVs that weren't connected through the internet.
Oh, the big boxes.
That's it.
Dust those off, dig them out.
I'll show you a few little satirical tweets.
Pretty boring material.
We could be going on about this all evening.
Watching people watching TV, I can scroll through hours of that.
Play Scrabble. That way you won't be spied on unless you are being spied on by the screen in the corner of the room. So Big Brother was not a myth after all. And you can see here TV screens, smartphone devices, and somebody looking through the window. That's the scariest part for me. Somebody else tweeting here, what's on TV tonight? Oh, well, you are, of course. And when making breakfast in the morning, please could you stand close to your toaster when discussing your evil plans? I think the toaster is probably the only safe device in the house by the sounds of all of this.
Scary stuff, isn't it?
Well, it is, because it's not just Samsung. I mean, you have... Do you remember Kim.com? He was the guy who launched Mega Upload, and he was in the news.
Pirating sites.
That's right. He's tweeting because he's been going through this data dump. And Skype is also implicated. This isn't the first time we've heard this. Skype allegedly... Skype voice conversations can be converted into text in real time, scanned for contents of interest, and stored in CIA spy clouds. What about Microsoft? Also potentially implicated. And here you have Kim.com directly tweeting Bill Gates saying, hold on a minute, is there a grey zone here? Are CIA coders working? Look, it's sort of endless, really.
Well, you know what they say, James?
What?
If you've nothing to hide, you've nothing to fear.
Well, there's that too. So live a clean life in a cave without Wi-Fi, then you're fine.
You'll be fine. All right, let's move on. Today is International Women's Day. Yes. Women have been going on strike. They've been protesting. They've been marching in cities around the world. But where better to start than with Donald Trump's Twitter account?
That's right. Always a place for where women's rights are spoken of in, well, at least on International Women's Day. Join me in honouring the critical role of women here in America and around the world, he said. Despite the fact that he's the target of most of their protests. I have tremendous respect for women and the many roles they serve that are vital to the fabric of our society. Now check any other International Women's Day tweet and you have images like this. We're heading to the Trump International Hotel. You even had, look at this, I'm not sure if
there was a huge women's march the day after his inauguration.
That's right. This is in Stockholm, where they had a flash mob of women wearing pussy hats, which have become a symbol, of course, of protest against Donald Trump's presidency, in particular.
Is he the president of Sweden? Did I miss something?
But there you go. This isn't just in the US. It's incredible. Other hashtags to look out for: I Strike, Women's Day, obviously enough, and Rise Up.
And women are not spending money in the United States because they're holding off on their consumer power as well.
That's right. It is 50%.
You need our money, you need our labour.
That's right. So look, they've been making their voices heard. And it's not just, of course, women's issues in the US that are centred around Donald Trump. You have Twitter tweets here drawing attention to women's issues, for example, in Egypt, where a woman called Samira Ibrahim was subjected to sexual assault by the Egyptian military in the form of virginity tests.
That is something
Very
to
nice.
talk about.
Not. Then you have the Syrian human rights lawyer Razan Zaitouna, who was kidnapped and remains missing. So many issues. Le Monde has drawn attention to pay equality and wage equality with an interactive chart showing that Rwanda, actually in terms of pay, not in terms of other rights, in fact, is ahead of France. That's perhaps not what you would expect. A lot of attention, this is slate.fr, but a lot of media around the world have been talking about the fact that Nike has launched a sports hijab in what is essentially, as this headline says, a business and marketing coup operation. Lots of people tweeting about that, saying, hold on a minute, if you want to support this sort of sporting wear, you have support innovative Muslim women already making this athletic wear. Or, as this tweet says, since when did faith-mandated modesty designed to obscure a woman's identity become the perfect pitch for empowerment? So a lot of companies have been using International Women's Day simply for marketing. And as you can see there with the sports hijab, it's not necessarily for what one might consider universal women's rights and freedoms.
No, right. Well, it's been dominating Twitter all day, hasn't it? I mean, it
certainly has.
It's a big marketing opportunity.
Depending on the country. And then, for example, Ireland, huge marches across Ireland as well.
Running access to abortion.
Pro-choice, exactly. So every country with its own, perhaps, well, not every country, but a lot of countries with their own flavour on the various issues of International Women's Day in their country.
All right, good stuff. James, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Laura.
James Creedon.